Good morning, everybody. It's not easy to say something meaningful in 5 minutes. It's not easy to say a lot in 5 minutes, so I'll try to be very pointed. I'll try to quickly review the past a little bit. There's lots we can learn from the past. Often humanity is not capable of learning from the past, but obviously it's critical that sometimes we are able. Then I want to look a little bit into the future, hopefully sharing some courage and actually a positive outlook, which I believe we have reason to for. First, on the past. Have been building the UN Global Compact, which is now the world's largest corporate citizenship platform with 6,000 companies from 135 countries. And in the 10-year journey we have behind us, I think I can share the following points with you, which I believe resonate very well with what we have heard here earlier. First, the movement of the corporate idea of being more sensitive to social, environmental, and governance issues has matured in very important ways. 10 years ago, it was largely about the legitimacy, the social legitimacy in particular. 10 years ago, there was a lot of controversial approaches in this space between not-for-profit and for-profit. Today, I think there's a spirit of cooperation, a spirit of partnership. Much learning has happened. A lot of tools are available today which were not available 10 years ago. A lot of expertise is available. A lot of innovative partnerships have been built, and business in the community has been spearheading many of them as well. So the environment for collaboration, for learning from each other has improved significantly. So has the availability of specific tools. Secondly, what has also changed, 10 years ago, the call for responsibility was mostly a moral call. It was the time when it was visible to everybody that business has gone global, but governments have remained local. Therefore, business should take on some additional share of responsibility, which goes beyond what is regulated back home. And that notion of moral imperative has transformed in the meantime to what many people rightly call the material imperative. Today, it is not just a moral issue to be more sensitive and proactive on ESG, environmental, social governance issues. Increasingly, it is a material issue. And a lot of companies have important lessons to share that testify to that importance. And the material aspect of non-traditional financial issues manifests itself not just in risks exposure to such issues as market externalities, climate change, and so forth, vulnerabilities in the supply chain, governance risks, political risks, but increasingly it spans the entire strategic operational context. And the term, Stephen, you mentioned before, VANUC, it was, I believe, in my sense, also very much reflects that complexity. But it's a reality today that the material aspect of the non-financial environment within which globalizing corporations operate is increasingly manifested. Thirdly, business is not alone anymore. As I said, it's not just civil society, it is also other important professional service providers and other actors which have caught on or are catching on. One of the most important ones is obviously investors. They're still lagging behind, according to our view, behind the corporate world. The corporate world is far ahead on sustainability issues, but investors are catching up. Principles for Responsible Investment, now headquartered here in London, is a thriving platform with 800 institutional investors. They're very busy currently developing tools how analysts can better assess, integrate non-financial issues in investment assessment and evaluation. I believe this is a very important trend, a very important and welcome development. It will help to underscore the business case of responsibility in a significant way. Similar developments are going on in the consumer world worldwide, although there the trends are much more fragmented, and it depends very much which industry sector, product category, and which market we are talking about. But clearly, also on the consumer side, globally speaking, no doubt, with the appreciation of everything that has to do with the natural environment, with the increasing sense of interdependence and the vulnerability and the importance of proactive risk behavior, this sense is increasingly out there. So these are some of the big trends which are irrespective of geopolitical. Others are well known. I mean, Growth has migrated to the east by and large and to some other emerging markets. What is often overlooked is the second generation beyond the BRICS that are also emerging rapidly, and among them are important countries with sizable populations, Turkey, Indonesia, and so forth. There's a whole bunch of new countries entering the global market space with great ambitions, with young demographic populations, with a huge appetite. So it's this environment within which we're working, and now I want to speak just for 1 minute about the future.
All right.
All right, the optimistic side. The material aspects of non-financial issues, I believe, gives a big competitive advantage to corporations which have long practiced and built up competencies both at the strategic and at the operational level. I believe UK companies, European companies are especially well positioned to leverage that advantage further. It hasn't yet happened on a large enough scale, but I think that's one thing to come. Secondly, transformative partnerships, partnerships that go beyond normal cooperation, which have a long-term impact, that have lasting market transforming capacities are on the rise, and their definition and properties are increasingly important also for business success. Thirdly, I would argue that the most important of all is that we keep the world politically coherent and integrated. My sense is the biggest risk of all is the political risk of this world not being capable of moving into a future where there's space for everybody, and we don't see the world as a zero-sum game, but as an expanding opportunity for all. So I would leave you with a strong appeal also to see the political aspect. And again here, the UK is extremely well positioned to spearhead that assumption about the future and to thrive on it in market terms. 5 minutes, not a lot of time, but I hope I've shared some of the important ideas. Thank you very much, and I'd be happy to answer more questions.